see, your first experience is always something that you remember. It was in the middle of June, extremely hot, a very hot radio studio,
right,
and a lot of goosebumps. But my first broadcast was really, you know, something that a lot of people noticed. So I think I was lucky in those terms. It was actually beyond my own expectations also. So that's when I got noticed by, you know, the senior management in the radio, and I was very young. I think I was just about 23 years old.
So you got the opportunity of doing multiple voiceovers as well, and then the journey continued. And ladies and gentlemen, he's also a poet. He's written 2 books. Tell us about those as well.
So just to build on what I said about my radio journey. So so I started off with Radio English News, and then later on I started hosting the then largest Radio English show called Islamabad Calling. I hosted that for 13 years, every day.
Wow.
And to the extent that the show became synonymous with me. For a very long time I did it. And of course television, when I started Radio English News, I was already doing some television in the sense that I was doing voiceovers, documentaries, and some, you know, background, you know, BG voice here in PTV. And then later on, of course, it was very difficult to get into English news here. Because I mean, there was just one bulletin, the 6 o'clock bulletin. And the 6 o'clock bulletin on television, PTV, was huge. So so you know, to get into it was not that easy. You know, I had to actually wait for 2 long years. And then
get the opportunity of going on air.
In the process, you know, I was also required to do a little training at the PTV Academy. There was a week-long training, and there was a trainer from BBC, and I had to be a part of it, and that was really very helpful also. I think it helped my first experience. So, you know, a lot of nervous energy when the first time you're there.
So the bulletin you did, the live bulletin, at that time the recordings were the main thing, not the, you know, live was not that in.
No, the bulletins.
How was the experience?
The bulletins were mostly live, and those days, you know, the most difficult part was you had those manual prompters. And
you had those pages.
You had to be
right
on.
now, ladies and gentlemen, we have
Absolutely.
a panel, or we've got a remote control that goes ahead and
it's way easier.
And you had to be on the top of your game, because you see, you know, somebody was feeding that manual prompter with papers.
Okay.
And a lot of times, you know, the edge would actually be hidden within the prompter. So you had to work out exactly what words would have been there, and, you know, make out. And sometimes you see, you know, it used to happen that one of the pages would be skipped, and then you had to kind of suddenly make out exactly. Absolutely. So they were quite. It was quite an interesting experience.
Let's come to your books now.
Wow.
Yes. So So when I had done news for many years, and went into people's homes with news and current affairs, I realized that I need to also get into their hearts. So to get into people's hearts, beyond getting into their homes, you had to.
It's most of the time it's the other way around. You go into the hearts first, and then you end up at the home.
So we were already getting into people's homes, but getting into their hearts. Of course, I was always doing poetry, but then I published my first volume was published in 2017 by Readings, Lahore.
That's the Mahogany Junction.
I think you had a program with that name too.
Yes, absolutely. And then my second is the publication is the Frozen Lake. It's just come out. It's published by Sangeet.
Can we somewhat give credit to PTV World in that journey because of the fact that you started doing the English bulletins?
Absolutely, I was an Anglophone. I was an Anglophone broadcaster, and then of course that graduated into Anglophone poetry. So by all means, PTV has a huge role to play. That's where I learned to express myself.
Talking about expressing yourself, ladies and gentlemen, Jawad Tehami, known to be a very serious anchor, does his show Views on News, is with us. He is smiling for the very first time, and we're all astonished. Is that because of the 10th anniversary of PTV World? Jawad, tell us about your journey.
It's been a great honor and really a privilege to be the part of this state organization that has done wonders over the years and I am really honored to be sitting beside Mr. Farooq Hassan and Mr. Mazhar Nisar. They're the living legends. They've been associated with this organization for decades now. and remarkable journey they've had with this state broadcaster. So yes, there are different aspects you just mentioned here. I'm hosting